Disney's loyal audience has outright dismissed the apology of their Princess Snow White, an actress whose casting in the film was celebrated as a bold and progressive move, perfectly aligning with Disney's DEI agenda. However, that very decision spiraled into a storm of delays, heated controversies, and relentless backlash.
After posting a video where she said, if you're not voting for Kamala, unfollow me. I don't need your business. Telling over half of the audience for her Disney live-action bastardization of Snow White.
The decision has turned out to be one of Disney's worst ever, especially just 3 years before what could be the most pivotal release in Disney's history, Snow White. When Rachel made her debut 3 years ago in West Side Story, there were already warning signs that she might sabotage not only herself, but also bring disaster upon Disney. And what everyone feared ultimately came true. Rachel made blunder after blunder, and her attempts at damage control only made things worse. At times, she appeared to redeem herself. For instance, during the promotion of West Side Story, Rachel initially seemed enthusiastic about highlighting her cultural roots. But soon, the conversation took a dramatic turn, evolving into a broader debate about what it truly means to be of Latin descent, with Rachel herself raising questions like,
the language, does it matter?
Does it matter?
Do you eat the food? Does it matter? Where do you come from? And how do you feel about who you are? And are you comfortable in your identity?
It almost seemed like Rachel was trying to fit into every category imaginable, yet ended up belonging to none. She even openly admitted to battling imposter syndrome at the time, saying, I haven't done any other film projects, but I'm constantly pinching myself. For a moment, it seemed like she was genuinely grateful for the opportunity, but that sentiment was short-lived. Rachel revealed her true colors when she began publicly complaining about not being invited to the 94th Academy Awards. It's worth noting that her movie had been nominated for multiple awards, but instead of handling the situation with grace, she took to Twitter, sarcastically stating that she'd be watching the ceremony from her couch in sweatpants and my boyfriend's flannel. The drama didn't end there. She continued to post about how disappointed she was, practically begging for sympathy from fans online. Surprisingly, it worked. Disney stepped in like a fairy godmother, waved their metaphorical wand, and not only got Rachel an invite, but also secured her a spot as a presenter. That moment seemed to embolden her, as if she thought, hey, with Disney backing me, I can do whatever I want. Fast forward to her next PR disaster, this time during the promotion of Shazam! Theory of the Gods. When asked why she took on the role, her response wasn't about the story or the character. Instead, she bluntly admitted, I needed a job. It wasn't exactly what you'd expect to hear on a red carpet, and naturally it caused quite a stir. To make matters worse, she showed up wearing a top with a bold, borderline rude message, sparking even more outrage.
Say, if I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
Oh, is that right?
Let's not overlook the moment that truly solidified Rachel's controversial reputation, her casting as Disney's new Snow White. You'd expect landing such an iconic role to inspire a sense of humility, or at least professionalism. Instead, Rachel seized every opportunity to criticize the original Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. She dismissed it as outdated, criticized the storyline, and even admitted she had only watched it once as a child because it scared her. That's hardly the attitude you'd expect from someone stepping into the role of a beloved Disney princess. Unsurprisingly, fans were outraged. Disney enthusiasts in particular were furious. Snow White isn't just a movie, it's a cornerstone of animation history. And here is the actress playing her, openly bashing the very film that started it all. To make matters worse, controversy erupted over the depiction of the dwarfs in the new movie, forcing Disney to scrap and reshoot parts of the film. Apparently they're pretty, sticklers at most things. You know, kids are just going to comment on anything they don't support. These delays, combined with the massive backlash, reportedly played a key role in Disney's decision to push the film's release back by an entire year. While the official explanation pointed to the actors' strike, insiders suggested the real reason was far more alarming. Fear. Fear that the film would flop at the box office after all the controversy surrounding Rachel's comments and the broader depiction of the project. At this point, Disney's Snow White remake has become a full-blown disaster, largely thanks to Rachel Zegler. She's practically become the poster child for how one person's actions can derail an entire project. This isn't just about delays or the staggering $200 million budget. It's about Rachel alienating the very audience Disney needs to win over. The backlash hit a fever pitch in August when the film's trailer amassed 1.3 million dislikes. The fan response was so scathing that branding experts warned Disney this could spell doom for the remake and any potential sequels they had in mind. Behind closed doors, crisis talks were reportedly in full swing as Disney scrambled to salvage what was left of their sinking ship.
Zegler's very, very narcissistic. I'm better than everyone. I know better. I'm going to present the right version of Snow White for the modern audiences. Not that, love story.
You'd think Disney's PR team might be able to control the damage, right? Enter their latest effort, a fluff piece in Variety aimed at making Rachel more likable. Spoiler alert, it had the opposite effect. Instead of owning up to her mistakes or showing any real growth, Rachel doubled down on her divisive attitude, leaning heavily into the victim narrative. The article, intended to paint her in a positive light, backfired spectacularly. Fans saw through the facade immediately. And then came her so-called apology. Let's be real. This wasn't a heartfelt moment where Rachel took responsibility for her actions. It was a cold, rehearsed statement, clearly written by Disney's PR executives and parroted by Rachel for the audience. Fans weren't fooled. The apology felt insincere and staged, and the internet wasted no time tearing it apart. It was just YouTubers, influencers, and even casual observers called it out for what it was, a textbook PR stunt. Critics noted this wasn't a one-time slip-up, but a pattern of behavior that seemed to define Rachel's public persona. Some even drew comparisons to Disney's controversial firing of Gina Carano, who was let go over a social media post that some found offensive. Fans pointed out that Rachel's comments have arguably been far worse, yet she has managed to keep her role. The hypocrisy wasn't lost on anyone, further fueling the backlash. The rejection of Rachel's apology was swift and brutal. Fans flooded social media with responses mocking the statement. Comments like, "She doesn't mean it," "Too little, too late," and "This is just Disney damage control" dominated the conversation. Many even suggested that Rachel would have been better off not apologizing at all, as the attempt only made things worse.
Cultural significance is you had an actress out there just talking shit constantly. She won't shut the f up. And yes, it has hurt the movie to roll out there and say Rachel Zegler's act over the last year and a half has not affected this movie.
The chaos surrounding Snow White is only escalating, creating a mountain of bad buzz around the film itself. With a reported budget exceeding $200 million, the movie needs to gross at least $400 million, likely closer to $600 million, just to break even. That's a massive challenge for any film, let alone one plagued by controversy from the very beginning. Fans have been vocal about boycotting the movie, and Rachel Zegler's involvement appears to be the #1 reason why. It's impossible to overlook the damage she's done to Disney's reputation. Even after reshooting scenes, delaying the release by an entire year, and pouring millions more into the project, the negativity hasn't gone away. If anything, it's grown louder. Disney's undoubtedly counting down the days until this movie finally hits theaters, likely eager to wash their hands of the entire fiasco. Rachel Zegler may have believed she was untouchable, but this disaster is proving otherwise. What do you think about Disney's downfall and Rachel's role in it? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos exposing woke Disney and the backlash against their actors. Okay, see you in the next video.